Hi, I'm Meg.
And I'm David.
Welcome to The Average Vegans, a podcast to help you live an attainable vegan lifestyle. We're not the ripped influencer vegans you hear about in other podcasts. We're just some ordinary people living in the South, eating plants and loving animals.
On today's episode, we're discussing supplements vegans should take. The vegan supplements. I think we should pronounce it that way. Supplements.
People have no idea what you're talking about.
Vegan supplements. About supplements that we should be taking or taking in certain circumstances. Supplements.
Yes.
I want everyone to email me and let me know if you agree. We should pronounce them supplements.
Oh my gosh, we're not fancy, okay?
Should
we're
create
lame
like
ass Americans.
Should create an Instagram poll or something.
Oh my gosh.
Supplements.
Yes,
or supplements?
we're talking about vegan supplements. Well, supplements that vegans should take, I guess you should say, right? That's more accurate.
Yes.
There are certain supplements that are best for vegans to take because they kind of create a more roundabout health story for you. They give you the nutrients and vitamins and all that stuff that you don't get from food or don't get enough of from food. And there are some of them. Yeah, David says,
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. I am a big lover of supplements. I take them. I am a very inconsistent taker, but I do as much as I possibly can remember. I even put them right by the coffee. So it's like, I can't forget. They're right there. They're looking at me, So I try to take as much as I can because I do notice a big difference when I take my supplements. And some of these are a little bit more important during certain times of the year as well, as we'll get to. And I know you take supplements too, right?
Yeah, I take them in the morning with my smoothie. Because I have a whole little smoothie area. And I have them.
Fancy.
I have them right there with that little jars for each little thing I put in it. But I have my supplements with it, so I take them at the same time. So I do just because I have like the little jars with like all of my mix-ins for my smoothies. I pull those out, open them up, pull out my supplements, take them out, make my smoothie, and my first sip, I just throw my pills back.
Wow, you're so healthy. It's obnoxious sometimes.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, it just makes you feel bad. Oh, gosh, I need to be more consistent, but there are definitely some supplements that are recommended more for vegans than for non-vegans. So let's get into some of those. The first one being B12.
Right.
So easily found in animal products like red meat because animals get it from the ground, from the dirt and the food that they're eating in the ground. Look at you. That's shaking your head.
So that's technically true depending on where it comes from. The vast majority, I'm not sorry, that was kind of like a dick thing to do, but I was like,
that's fine.
It's only because it's a common misconception, right? So a lot of people are like, oh, it's cows from the field. That's what. So, you're right in this, it comes from the ground. So, am I stepping on toes?
No, go. Keep talking. Cool.
So, it comes from dirt. You're absolutely, that is accurate. That's 100% dead on. Basically, it comes from organisms like bacteria in the dirt. They actually excrete or poop out B12. Also can come from well water and creeks, but what also comes with that is like parasites. So that's why we don't do that.
Ugh, gross.
generally, animals that a meat eater will be eating gets their B12 is from a supplement. It's mixed in with feed, or it's and especially in larger farmed animals such as cows. It's an injection, just like if you want to get a B12 injection, some people do that.
They do.
So some meat eaters are actually usually deficient as well, but not nearly as much as vegans are. The reason vegans are deficient in it is because we don't eat meat, and that's why I need supplement. Because if you don't eat, basically we cut the middleman instead of the animal getting supplement, and you eat the animal to get the supplement they took. You take the supplement. Yeah.
Kind of a little tangent, but have you ever had to deal with well water?
No, not that. No, I don't think I have.
Okay, so I grew up in South Florida, very poor, and we had well water. And it is like the second you say those words, I can smell it.
Yeah.
Like I right now it's like all I can smell. It's such a weird one of those memories, where you're just
Yeah.
like that smells associated with that. Oh, well, water's gross.
Yeah.
Sorry, tangent. Just made me immediately go, oh, like it's like whole skin crawls.
That's
Yeah, it's such a rare thing to deal with nowadays, I guess.
like that's where like our like ancestors, people like back in the past would get their B12 from was
Mm-hmm.
either they were eating an animal that ate the grass, to the point you were making earlier. That's why people assume that's where it comes from because like cows eat grass and bird and chickens eat the bugs. Like no. But the way people back in the past do it is you picked a carrot out of the ground, you ate a carrot. The carrot had dirt on it.
Right.
You're walking through the woods, you come across a stream, you drink the water from the creek that had B12 in it because the dirt and macros mixed in with it. So that's where it used to come from, but we also were like getting like parasites and dysentery.
Oh man,
So
good
we
times.
clean our water and take the B12 out. So you have to get supplemented through animals or just take the supplement yourself.
All right, so David, how does B12 help your body?
B12 is it helps with blood and cell health because your body actually needs it to create new cells. It is also for energy.
Yes, which I think is what most people know it by, right?
Right.
Like that's what most people associate B12 with, is
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah, because most of your like 5-hour energy drinks, those energy shots, and are basically just giant bottles of B12.
Like so much. If you look on the back, it is a scary, scary number.
Yeah, it's like 15,000% of what you need in a day. And B12, it's water soluble, so you pee out the extra, and your body will store it as well. Yes, you store B12 in your muscle tissue. So if you go for a period of time when you can't get it or you're not getting enough of it, your body will store some of it. So you have some.
That's
storage for it.
interesting.
Yeah, and if you have too much, your body just like pees it out.
And we have found that the recommended daily dose is around 2.4 mcg. What the heck is that?
Micrograms.
Okay, micrograms. All right, that's very little. I just take a little pill and I'm good.
Yep, me too. And it's way more than I need, but again, my body just stores it and then flushes the rest out. So
you can also get it from nutritional yeast, which is something that all vegans. I mean, oh my gosh. What if we met a vegan that doesn't like nooch? Oh my gosh, I couldn't be their friend.
They're not really vegan. They're like nooch.
You're right. They get kicked out of the club.
You take their card back.
I put nutritional yeast on everything because it's delicious.
I have a bag of it.
Yes, it is so good. So it's an easy way to get some B12 if you consistently consume it.
You can also get it through fermented foods like kombucha. Yes. If you like kombucha, it's a fermented tea. Tempeh, kimchi, sauerkraut, anything that's a fermented food. You can make me an face. Yeah, anything fermented, you're gonna get B12 from. So like I said, nutritional yeast, which is actually a bacteria, single cell organism. There's single cell organism with no oh my god, feeling. I can't find the word. My brain's so great. You saw like my brain try to restart there.
That was great.
No central nervous system, so it's considered vegan, so it's fine. But yeah, fermented foods, fortified foods, and nutritional yeast and supplements. Those are your best sources.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy to find a B12 supplement. You can find them anywhere, basically. And is there anything to look out for to make sure that it's vegan B12, or is it just automatically?
If it's a pill, you want to make sure what the coating is.
Okay,
that's the main thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I take a B12 supplement because I don't always eat fermented foods.
Right.
And I drink kombucha like at least once a day, but usually twice a day. But I take it just in case. So I take actually I got mine at Trader Joe's.
Yep, me too. Yeah.
So I take it. It smells horrible, but it works.
It does. And that one especially smells really bad.
Right.
like David said, there are people that, are vegan and not vegan that are also B12 deficient. So there are signs to look out for if you are lacking in B12. And these sound awful. So this is great. Jaundice, fatigue, mouth ulcers, ugh,
Yeah.
God, dizziness, poor vision, and unstable mood. Well, that one's hard to
And you got
just pinpoint on B12.
right.
But
And usually
yeah, that's
unstable mood basically meaning like mood changes. You're not acting yourself. You're kind of acting like erratic. And really think about that. Like fatigue, dizziness, poor vision, and changes in mood is you can correlate those to energy pretty easily. Jaundice
yes, very much
obviously
so.
to new cell growth and blood cell growth. Um, but yeah, because usually with jaundice, you have you having issues with your red blood cell count.
Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, so if you definitely have a really bad energy, like I noticed that, like when I would take a B12, I noticed there's an energy change.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think between B12 and the one we're going to talk about next, those are the ones that I notice the biggest difference in my overall health when I supplement them. So besides B12, vitamin D is a
Mm-hmm.
major supplement that vegans take. Of course, you can just go outside, stand in front of the sun, soak up that vitamin D, but it's not always an option. A lot of us work desk jobs. We get way less vitamin D during the winter. The second it's freaking 5 o'clock and I'm done working, I go outside and it's like dusk.
Right.
Like, what's happening? It's
Not,
so sad.
not only that, you need to sit in like sunlight for like 30 minutes to get like a recommended dose,
Right.
and that could also be dangerous for your skin depending on your
Yes.
age and any health issues. Yeah, so it has to be direct sunlight. And if it's cloudy,
Right.
you're not gonna get nearly as much as you think you are. If it's behind the trees, nope. It's got to be like high above the head, no clouds hitting you in the face, like full on, or it's not you're not gonna get the full effects of it. So a lot of people think I went outside for an hour. Yeah, but it was like overcast. Yes, you might as well have been outside for 10 minutes in this context. So yeah.
And like putting your desk near the window is not the same. So
And
just an FYI. it's
especially if
not
you
gonna
do what
work
I
as
do
much.
is especially what I do is you put a corner desk in front of two windows and then close the blinds.
Yeah, yeah, it's exactly what you do.
But the sun comes straight through and hits you right in the eye. It doesn't work. So
So vitamin D, it's called like the sunshine vitamin. I saw that today when I was looking some stuff up and I was like, that's exactly what it is. So it's obviously something that you can get exposed to direct sunlight. You can take a pill. I have taken a liquid vitamin D. I think I got it at Sprouts. And it tasted disgusting. It was vegan, but it was so gross. It tasted like oh gosh, hold on. Vanilla, like vanilla, just pure vanilla on I don't
Ew.
and I don't like that taste. I don't like
Yeah.
that smell. I don't like anything like that. So the liquid is not my favorite. I wouldn't recommend it, but like if you have trouble swallowing pills or you just don't want a pill, there is a liquid version out there. Ugh.
I take a pill version.
Yeah, I do now.
Oh, do you now? Okay, yeah. I got mine off Amazon.
I did the liquid until I was done with the bottle, and then I was like, I could never do this again. It was dedication to finish that too. I just don't want to waste it. It's expensive.
Oh no, I get it, man. Trust me.
So vitamin D helps with your bones, your teeth, your nervous system, brain health, all of that stuff. I also saw that vitamin D is associated with, like a low vitamin D is associated with heart disease as well. So like being deficient in vitamin D can really kind of fuck you up a little bit there. So it's a little important. So it's definitely something that we need to check out and make sure that we're getting enough of, make sure that we are taking a supplement for, or, at least trying some way to get some extra vitamin D. They say the recommended daily dose is 15 mcgs.
Micrograms.
I have an Amber Alert on my phone. Excuse me.
Uh-oh. This is how you know it's live, folks.
Yeah, it's going to happen too because it says Atlanta. So at some point you're going to get it too. Wow, that was terrifying.
Now they know I don't care.
Like, you're such a jerk.
Children are missing.
I do care.
I'm not gonna.
Um,
I wonder everybody gets those Amber Alert messages and like rushes out to help.
so I saw TikTok one day was like, doesn't the kidnapper also get the Amber Alert? I was like, shit. Yep.
They're on to me.
They know you're on to them in what car. You're
But like,
shit.
I wonder. I know we're going off the point, everybody. But I wonder if anybody ever like gets the alert and like, the baby Sarah is missing, and a guy in a white van has her. This is my time. And he just like runs out the door to hunt the guy down. Like, I wonder if people actually react to it, like go and do something, or
Go be a superhero. Put their
Right.
cape on and jump into action.
Right. I don't know. I've always
Okay,
wondered that.
off subject.
Okay. Yeah. So 15 micrograms is the recommended dose.
Yes, yes.
And obviously the best way to get it is exposure to direct sun. Like we said, I think it's 30. That's the rest I read it was 30 minutes. It may have changed. In direct sunlight. Obviously a pill or a liquid supplement or fortified nut milks. It's vitamin D is such a necessary nutrient. It's like it's added to a lot of things. Even like I remember growing up, it's like fortified vitamin D, like dairy milk was like a thing because it's such a and we're especially nowadays we're so deficient in vitamin D. It's fortified everywhere. So
Yeah, and the symptoms of deficiency can probably be, attributed to a million different things. Fatigue, weakness, depression. I mean, you could just think you're depressed and not realize that it could very well be a vitamin D deficiency.
yeah.
Yeah, that's an important thing to note too. So like if you are feeling down lately and you're not really sure why, I mean, just start taking a vitamin D supplement and see maybe if it helps a little bit. Because you do feel a difference. Again, between the B12 and the vitamin D, if I don't take those, like a zombie.
Yeah.
Like there's a big difference.
What's seasonal? Was it seasonal something?
Depression?
See, it's sad. I can't remember what the A stands for, but it's seasonal depression. Comes on. That's why it comes along in the winter time because you have less sunlight, so people tend to have higher levels of depression because of that. So that's the main thing. If anybody's like, "Well, I'm feeling down, but I don't really know why, and I'm not having a lot of energy," I'm like, and you're vegan. I'm like, take your B12 and your vitamin D because you're probably missing one of those. It's causing this like low energy, which can kind of lend to a lower mental state. I'm gonna say
Yes.
if you're not gonna have enough energy, and also if you're feeling depressed, you have less energy. So if someone's vegan and they have this ongoing issue, I always ask like, are you supplementing vitamin D, B12? Because try that for a little while and see if it helps.
Right, exactly. It's worth a shot. I mean,
right.
If after supplementing for a while you don't see a difference in your mood, then obviously talk to a doctor and consult a psychiatrist or whatever you need to do. But vitamin D deficiency can definitely mess you up, just like that B12. And combining those again is like such a good base supplements for a vegan. Like if you don't want to take anything else, just take those two.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about, I just started taking in the past year, and it's because you told me to. I just do what David says,
You might as well at this point. All right, so Meg liked it a little bit, so I'll move forward.
We're talking about iodine.
There you go.
That's it. I feel like iodine sounds like, I don't know, like you're in a doctor's surgery or something, like it sounds so intense.
Well, there's a food iodine, which is what we're talking about. There's also a medical iodine. I think it's like maybe it's different isotope. Maybe they're the same, but I think they're a little different. And that's usually used as a disinfectant. Like I had a babysitter who had a bottle of iodine in her medicine cabinet, and if you got cut or scraped, you just put iodine on it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's purple and it's not. Yeah, dude, it was ridiculous. Cotton ball iodine. Like,
he's like, you are clean.
I guess I am.
Yeah, so like when you hear like let's take some iodine as a supplement, that sounds like probably pretty crazy if you've never thought about it. But there's a great deal of to iodine. And you can take it in several different ways. So it doesn't always have to be a pill with this one. There's other options as well. But iodine helps regulate your hormones. It's really good for your thyroid health, which is really important for everyone, but especially for women. We have a lot of thyroid issues. So I think that's, something that is a really easy supplement to take. Because the one that we use, I think we use the same one, right?
I think so, yeah.
It's just a drop, one little liquid drop.
Yeah, I do more than that.
I do too, because one seems like that can't be right.
Right, I'm like, really? I do a whole dropper. I suck a whole dropper and do half of that.
Oh my God. Okay, I don't do that much.
Yeah, no, I definitely do more than I should, but I'm like, one drop's not enough.
That doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that makes me laugh. But if you follow directions, unlike us, it is just one little drop on your tongue. Super simple. It does not taste gross. I mean, it's not like the best flavor I've ever had, but it easily goes away. There is a pill version. You can eat sea veggies like seaweed, which is, besides in sushi is not my jam. Or iodized salt. So those are all ways that you can get a little bit of iodine in you.
So the interesting about iodine is even if you're non-vegan and you're not if you're not supplementing, if you're doing like Himalayan sea salt or something like that, just non-iodinized salt, and you're not eating like seaweed or some sort of like snack, like the sea snacks and stuff, like any type of sea vegetable on a regular basis, even if you're a meat eater, you still need to do something with iodine. The way basically iodine is only found like in the ocean. That's where it comes from.
Right.
It comes from the sea. So unless you're eating fruits and vegetables that come near like a body of salty water, like an ocean. So unless you're eating fruits and vegetables that are coming from near an ocean, you're not going to get an iodine. That's what you're not getting a natural iodine. I use Himalayan sea salt. I just prefer it.
Me too.
So I don't get any other way except for like when I get sushi, I'll do the seaweed or stuff like that. But I mean, they have sea snacks or just like strips of seaweed that are flavored. I don't like. I don't like. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with like the nori with like sushi, but like the actual like seaweed sea snacks, it's just too fishy for me. It
is.
I can't do it. It's just way too much. But if you don't want to do, if you don't want to, there's dulce, which is like a ground kind of seaweed, and it's a different type of sea vegetable.
Oh.
It's called dulce, and a lot of people use that. They'll put it in like soups or on top of salads and stuff instead. That's another great source because it's a sea vegetable.
And then it's just like almost like a seasoning because it's ground up.
Right.
That's
cool.
That's
almost like like a salty seasoning. So you can do that too. So if you're not doing the sea vegetables, if your fruits and veg and they don't come from a source that's near the ocean, and you're not doing iodized salt, you need a supplement.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And what's interesting is we use the pink Himalayan salt, and I take the iodine supplement, and I do not think my husband and daughter do. And now that I'm like, they need to, because we don't use any other salt in the house, and we obviously, very rarely have sushi. So,
especially for your daughter and her thyroid, that's something women need to be. So.
Wow, I've been hoarding the iodine. Sorry, guys.
I actually don't put it in my tongue. I don't. You know what I do with it?
I
put it in my smoothie.
Of course, you put everything in your smoothie.
I just take I take that and go on the on top of it. Put my mixins in. Put my pot milk. Blend it up. It's smoothie time.
You're so good. So healthy.
That's what I do.
The recommended daily dose of iodine is 150 mcgs for adults. I'm glad that you specified that.
It's going to differ quite greatly for children. If you're like elderly, if you're like like 65 and older, or if you're pregnant or nursing, it's going to adjust.
Interesting.
In the case of those, you should be talking to a doctor really anyway, because your body's changed so much in those stages. It's gonna be different. You're probably doing blood work anyway if you're in
Yeah.
those groups. So your doctor will give you a better idea of what you actually need. But if you're just an adult who's like, I think 14 and up to the early 60s, 150 micrograms is fine.
And again, it's a super easy way to get a supplement. It can be liquid or there's a pill. So super simple. The deficiency signs. What is this first word?
A goiter.
What the heck is that?
It's a growth on your thyroid. It's in your neck right there.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. That makes sense since we're talking about thyroids for this.
Yeah.
Fatigue, brain fog, depression, and sudden weight gain.
Right.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, because your thyroid is what regulates your metabolism. So if you have something wrong with your thyroid, your metabolism is not going to be regulated properly, and you'll have sudden weight gain. See, there's people who have like thyroid cancer, and they get have to get the thyroid removed, and they have problems maintaining healthy body weight. They're usually overweight. And this is not a body shaming thing. It's just a medical thing that happens.
Yeah, I had my thyroid tested because I was hoping that there'd be some reason why I have trouble losing weight. Guess what? No problems there.
Oh, Lord.
Just me.
Oh.
Just me.
A friend of mine, his wife had to have a thyroid removed.
Oh, jeez.
She just was, she's heavier, and that's just why.
Just how it is. I mean, oh, that sucks.
But you're the fatigue, the brain fog, depression. That's obviously a fluctuation in your hormones.
Right. Exactly. All thyroid related too.
Right,
so.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Deficiencies in all of these sound awful. I mean, B12 can give you mouth ulcers. Vitamin D can give you depression. Iodine can make you get a growth in your thyroid. This sounds awful. Yeah. Take your supplements, people, please.
Yeah, I mean, usually if you're not, obviously if there's issues with depression, medical issues, talk to a therapist, talk to a doctor. But if you're generally okay and nothing's going on, it's like a change in your mood. You're not thinking straight. You're suddenly starting to feel a lot more tired than normal. Things like that. You're just all of a sudden changes in how you feel, your weight, things like that. It's likely you're missing something in your diet. Likely one of these things. That's why we're highlighting them. So evaluate and see what maybe you're eating. You've started eating less of. Maybe you're getting less sunlight. You're getting busy, so you're eating more like snacky meals or eating frozen foods, and they're lower in certain nutrients. If you see a sudden change in yourself, that doesn't make sense. Like if you're depressed, but you had a life event, that's obvious, right? But it's related. But if you're just like everything's going fine, why do I feel sad all the time? Maybe because you're stuck in the house and you're not going out and you're not getting your vitamin D. Take a supplement.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So again, just trying some supplements, just taking a little bit better care of yourself and seeing how that affects you. It could make a huge difference. It could not. You know what I mean? Like if you really do have depression, taking supplements isn't going to make a huge difference, but It will help your overall health, and it will help you kind of get on the path towards feeling better, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And most of the supplements we're talking about are relatively cheap, with quotes around it, depending on what cheap is for you. Because they're so prevalent and so widely used, there's a high demand. I mean, there's also a high supply, so usually the costs are low. I understand that obtaining some of these supplements does have a bit of a privilege to it.
Yes.
But also bearing in mind that a lot you can find food sources that are probably a little cheaper than getting supplement if you want to go that direction.
That's true. Very true. And I would recommend Sprouts as my favorite place to get supplements. They have a wide variety at Sprouts and different price ranges as well. So that's would be my recommendation. Okay, so our next supplement is one that I do not take, but I get it from a lot of food sources. So I'm assuming that's good enough. But I don't know anything about omega-3s, really, not much. So this is a David section. He's going to teach me things.
Yeah. Omega-3s usually get omega-6s. Omega-6s, I think like avocados are a good. I did omega-6 years ago. But avocados and like your healthy fats like that are a good source of omega-6. But usually people get it from fish and fish oils. If you're non-vegan, that's where you get it from.
Mm-hmm.
You do need to watch a good balance ratio is 1 to 4. So you want to have like a 1 to 4 ratio omega-3 to omega-6. But generally
Okay.
speaking, if you have a well balanced diet with healthy fats, omega-3, omega-6 are considered healthy fats. So how it helps is it's a key role in every cell in your body.
Wow.
It regulates your cholesterol levels. It's also powers your nervous system and helps with inflammation. So yeah, if you're avoiding fats, like, oh, I'm avoiding fat to lose weight. First off, that's not how weight gain and weight loss works.
Yes.
It's all calories in, calorie out. Anyone tells you to lower your fat, don't drop your fat like that. You can actually get really bad
And don't
situation.
drop your carbs either.
No, that's not how it works.
Please eat your carbs.
Right. No, I'm I can get off on a weight loss tangent if I want to. I'm not going to do it. But your good sources are going to be like walnuts, chia seeds, hemp seeds, flax seed, pumpkin seeds. Really, nuts and seeds are going to be a really great source for it. Any place you get other healthy fats, such as avocados. Good source for omega-3 and omega-6s. Again, as long as you're eating like a balanced meal, like I put chia seeds and hemp seeds in my smoothies
On
in the morning.
everything.
Yeah, I put it in my smoothies. I put a good helping of both of those. So I know I'm just with that I'm hitting, and I have avocados throughout the week and stuff like that.
Yep, me too.
So
I love to put chia seeds, flax seeds, and hemp seeds on like most everything because especially if, a lot of times I get lazy and I just kind of put a bunch of things together. So I put like rice and vegetables and like tofu all in like a big old thing smushed together, right? Like a little casserole kind of thing. If you just sprinkle some chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds with that and mix it all together, you'll never even know they're in there. They make no difference. And you're getting all of those omega-3s. So that's definitely something just like nutritional yeast. I add seeds all the time to everything just because it's easy. I don't notice, super simple, and it helps me get the nutrients I need from those.
Yeah, omega-3 and omega-6 are like they're different sides of the same coin, so they go together. You need to make sure you're doing them because they actually complete a chain. So it's been a while since I looked into them because I've looked at them so many years ago. I just like, oh, that's why it works. I just moved on. I think there's it's like a size difference. There's something about the two different types of fats, how they bond together. But like soy is a good source for 6, corn, sunflower oil, and nuts and seeds. So again, as long as you're eating a balanced diet, you're eating a good source of healthy fats, you're going to get a good balance of 3s and 6s. You can supplement with it. If you're having issues, there's they do make omega-6, omega-3 blend. You usually find them as a blend. And I've seen them in pill and liquid form, I believe. Also, always all these pills in liquid forms, double check, make sure they're vegan. They may have something that's not, especially the pills may have a coating or a gel coating that's gelatin. But as long as you're eating nuts, seeds, healthy fats, you're gonna get everything you need from that.
Let's talk about this because these deficiency signs, again, some of them not horrible, but they're definitely things you would notice.
Right.
So dry skin, depression's horrible. Dry eyes and joint pain.
Right.
So those are things you're going to notice.
Yes.
Like I get really dry eyes. So maybe I do need to increase my seeds even more than I'm already doing. But like, those are definitely symptoms that maybe some of the other ones you might, push off as like, oh, I'm tired. Or, I'm not thinking clearly. And you may just push those off and ignore them. But with these deficiencies, like I'm going to notice if my eyes are suddenly constantly dry, or if my joints are hurting, or if my skin is like super weirdly dry. So I think these are definitely ones that you would recognize deficiency more frequently than the other ones, which would be helpful. I mean,
oh, for sure. And like I know you can probably have told I like connecting the how it works to the deficiency and how you can see that correlation. So obviously your dry skin, dry eyes, these are fats.
Right.
So you're going to be dried out and kind of like not kind of feeling and your skin's going to feel dry and itchy and kind of and your eyes too, obviously, because you don't have enough of a healthy fat in your body, right? and your joint pain because omega-3s are good for inflammation. If your joints are inflamed, they're going to be stiff, they're going to be achy, right? So if you notice you're like kind of achy and stiff and your eyes are dry and your skin's dry, you don't have enough fat in your body. But even if you may be like, I'm fluffy, that's not what this means.
That's not what that means.
That's calories in, calories out, there, big guy. We're talking about actual healthy fats in your body. So if you're lowering your healthy fats coming in, or you don't have enough coming in, especially O3, O6s, O3 we're mainly talking about here, your skin's gonna be dry, your hair will be dry, your eyes will be dry and itchy, you're gonna have joint pain. You need to increase your fat.
And I mean, dry eyes is one of the most annoying things. So I definitely think you would notice this. And it's, again, super easy to just increase the amount of seeds you're eating. Like, that's not very difficult. So definitely look into that. You can buy them in bulk at Sprouts. This is not a Sprouts episode. I keep saying their name. I keep giving them pre-advertisement, but like, they do have things in bulk. Sorry. Okay, our last supplement that we think vegans should take is a protein supplement. Oh gosh. No, we are not trying to bring on those where do you get your protein fucking questions. Right. That's not. We're just saying that if you don't get enough protein from your daily diet, it is good to supplement in order to get enough. That's all. That's it. It's not hard.
If you're someone who is physically active, it's recommended to get a higher amount. Especially because if you're lifting weights, you're breaking down muscle tissue, you need to build those up, especially if you're trying to build more muscle, not just maintain, you want to increase it. Obviously it's for building muscle, bones, skin, basically anything that's material on you as a person. It goes towards your hair, your nails, everything. Protein goes towards building that, repairing damaged tissue. So again, if you lift weights, if you go in the gym, that's why bodybuilders and like people who like are into athletics do a protein shake, because you just made these micro tears and tear down your muscle. You need to take a protein to build that up and to increase that muscle size and strength, and also heal. It also helps create your digestion enzymes for actually breaking down your food, as well as regulate your hormones.
Perfect. And you can get protein from a protein powder. My favorite is the Vega brand. I love that flavor. I love all of them. So that's my vote. What's your favorite protein powder?
My favorite one is when I go to the store and go, okay, which one's on sale?
Oh my God.
It's either Vega, the Kroger brand is actually not that bad.
Oh, good to know.
The Vega one I usually get has greens in it, so I prefer that one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another. I can't remember the other one. There's one that's a fairly popular brand, and I just kind of go whichever one's like on sale that time when I go. Kind of just rotate.
Always wanted to try the one that Bianca and Nimai, the ones that they always use. I can't remember what that brand is, but I've always wanted to try that one. It's fancy. Looks like so cool. So yes, you can use a protein powder. You can also get protein from beans, legumes. I just think that's a sexy word.
Legumes.
Nuts and seeds. So again, increase those seeds, man. Seeds make a huge difference in your life.
Be mindful if you are someone who is watching their weight, because fat. I mean, I advocated for increasing having healthy fat intake. Things like nuts and seeds are going to have a higher fat intake. So if you are trying to cut calories, those are not the ones you want to go with as much. Like things like tofus and stuff like that might be a little better because it'll be lower in fat. Beans and legumes has a higher in fiber, so if you're trying to keep your fiber intake lower, be mindful of that as well. But yeah, I mean, pretty much a potato has 1 gram of protein in it per serving.
Exactly.
So everything has protein in it. As long as you think about protein, is you have to like really screw up to be deficient in protein. Like you really have to make mistakes. Like you have to basically not you're basically just drinking water and eating like rice cakes. You're not actually eating food at this point.
Which is so funny because that's like the first question. Even people that are like in no good health at all look like a big old nothing, no health person eating like McDonald's in front of me, and they still want to ask me about protein. And I'm like, do you know how much you got today? I bet you don't. I saw
the best comeback. Someone's like, where do you get protein from? To start telling people that you don't. Like, I have a really hard problem getting protein. And then they'll go, No, you don't. Okay, then why'd you ask me the question?
Right, exactly.
What was the point of
Oh
that?
my God, drives me nuts.
Yeah,
So this is important. Let's talk about this recommended daily dose
yeah, because
because if you go online or you listen to anything, people are gonna tell you something different. It's gonna be
yeah,
different all the
yeah.
time. But according to David,
In my research,
0.36 grams per pound,
right?
right?
Yes. It's different per
Right.
kilogram, but most of our listeners are in the United States, so yes. So the average adult needs, based on that formula, needs around 50 to 60 grams of protein a day.
Okay.
Right? That's a day. I get that in like a meal. So
Yeah, that's like that's not
it's
very
not hard.
difficult
It's
to
not hard
get
to
like
do.
at all.
They did a study where they actually took athletes, like not pro athletes, but like people who like even people who compete in like Olympic games and like basketball
Ooh.
players and people who things like that, where they tested different protein levels to see if there was an advantage as far as like increased strength, stamina, endurance, repair of muscle tissue, all that stuff. To see if there's a level where it basically had diminishing returns, didn't have an effect. And what they found is once you get past zero point 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight, it has zero effect.
Wild.
No effect whatsoever.
That's wild.
Right. And this is where like people who are like working out, you're weightlifting, you're powerlifting, you're going to the gym 3, 4, 5 days a week, you're putting your body through the ringer. Yeah, anything past 0.75, you're basically wasting your money. So we're like, I'd have 300 grams of protein a day. Like, you're dumb. Now, there was a concern that it hurts your liver.
Ooh.
But I saw a study recently. I have to find it if we need to. They basically says like that's not nearly as prevalent as we thought it was, because your body's
Okay.
processing that protein. It turns it into breaks it down to amino acids because oh my god, can I geek out for a second here? Proteins.
Yes,
I
please
love
go.
this.
Go.
I love
Go.
this. Okay, so this is what's just
So
interesting, right?
adorable.
This is what I love about the protein thing, right? Okay, so proteins are just are made of amino acids. Amino acids are proteins broken down the liver, and amino acids are put into the body, and that's what repairs muscle tissue and builds cells and does all the fun stuff, right? Okay.
Right.
So here's what's cool. Here's what's kind of cool about protein. I think I said we had another episode where we talked about like different minerals and stuff. We talked about protein.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I think I'm about to talk about this then. I'm gonna talk about it now because I still love this. How this works. Okay. So the difference between animal protein and plant protein. This is very interesting. Okay. So, and this is coming from Dr. Greger. We all love Dr. Greger. He's awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
He's the base.
So this is where I got most information from, and it's really cool. Okay. So animal-based proteins, when broken down into amino acids, release insulin. I think it's insulin-like growth hormone. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, it's ILGH. Yeah. So that type of hormone gets released. It actually tells the body to start making cells, start making more cells. Which sounds like, yeah, that's right, make more muscles. No. That's your amino acid using, right? This actually is what feeds cancer.
What?
That is why people who have a have an animal-based diet tend to be more prevalent with cancers, because the animal-based proteins tells your body to start making cells, which is what cancer is.
Yeah.
So that's why cancer is more prevalent with people with animal people.
Wow.
Breast cancer, colon cancer, especially colon cancer, and things like testicular cancer, prostate cancer. All that stuff is very prevalent in meat eaters because of that increased growth hormone. Plant-based protein, okay, whether it's through a powder or through the whole food, when it breaks down as an amino acid, but it doesn't release it doesn't release that the growth hormone.
Interesting.
Which is why vegans have a dramatically lower rate of cancers. Now, you're never zero.
Right.
You're never zero. I have the chance of getting colon cancer just like you do. We all do, right? But
right.
Animal-based proteins increase your risk for those cancers because it actually tells your body to start producing more cells.
Right.
Right. So with a plant-based protein, your body's not producing that. That's also why they've actually taken vegan blood and with cancer cells, and the cancer cells did not reproduce. They didn't spread. They did it with people who eat animal products, and it did spread.
That's
Hormone is in the
crazy.
blood that causes that. I love, in quotes, because it's horrible, but it's also interesting, right? I love that fact because that's how it works. And
That's fascinating.
the way Dr. Greg explained it with the amino acids are different. There's just like a different shape, for lack of a better word. So your body can still use it because it recognizes that amino acid, but because they're actually structured slightly different, your body doesn't release that hormone.
That's so cool.
It's crazy, man.
I love when you geek out.
Yeah,
I learned so much. That's
I
beautiful.
I just thought it was so cool. Yeah.
That is really neat. Look at us learning stuff today.
That's it.
Some deficiency signs for a lack of protein in your system are weakness, muscle loss, skin, hair, nail issues. If you're sick very often, constantly hungry, or changes in your mood. That's an interesting one. Constantly hungry, huh?
Right, because protein, one, it go back to creates digestive enzymes, so it can cause digestive issues. You're not breaking down your food. You're not absorbing nutrients. Protein is very satiating, right? So there's certain things we need in our bodies to like satiate as far as like hunger goes. Low protein. Right. Most people who switch to a vegan diet, they're like, I was hungry all the time. Well, you're eating salads, dumbass.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, eat some fucking protein. Most, because also protein could be as well, you got to chew it, right? So chewing is a big factor in satiation. So if you went on a straight liquid diet, if you got all your calories, you still be hungry because your body needs that chew to actually send signals to your brain, right? It also releases other hormones and tells your brain that you're eating and then you take in, and triggers all kind of digestive enzymes that break down food to actually help you absorb nutrients. And your stomach needs to expand a certain way, and then so you're hungry because you're not getting enough protein, and you're not getting enough protein. You're not absorbing your nutrients well enough, so you're not being satiated. You're eating
right,
and protein is going to be higher in calorie and lower the nutrient, right? So if you're eating a lot of salads and like carrots and broccoli is decently high in protein for most vegetables, but you're eating a lot of just like veggies. You're not eating like high protein veggies. You're going to be so low in calorie, and your body's not getting the protein that it needs, so it's having problems absorbing nutrients anyway. You're going to feel hungry.
Oh my.
And again, more to like the muscle, the weakness, muscle loss.
Eat your protein.
Eat your proteins. Weakness, muscle loss, sickness. That's all just like you have lower muscle. You have lower muscle because you're not having your protein. You're weak because you're not having protein. You're not rebuilding torn down muscles. We tear down muscles walking around. When you go to pick up a box, you're going to use these micro tears, right?
Right.
So you need to rebuild. You're not rebuilding. You're not a muscle loss there. And you're sick very often. Changes in mood. That's all hormone regulation. And your skin, hair, nails. Again, those are made of protein. There's also your hair and nails are keratin. Yeah, keratin.
Yes.
But if you have low protein, you don't have brittle nails. Your hair's gonna be brittle. Also, low fat will cause brittle hair as well.
Oh my goodness! All of these sound horrible.
They really do.
So listen, if you are a vegan and you take 0 supplements and you don't eat a well-rounded diet that helps you get some of these vitamins and nutrients, you're gonna feel like shit.
No.
Basically what we've told you. If you feel fatigue, if you feel, depressed or weak or extra tired, any of these things, it could be because you need to take a supplement. It could be simply just take one of these pills. It's just like taking any other vitamin. These are really good for you. They make you feel better. They make your overall health better. But I'm curious, is there one that we didn't mention today that you guys use or that you take on a regular basis that you think that vegans should be taking? So of course we didn't talk about specifics like, a calcium or something like that, but these are the 5 that we would recommend. So we're curious, what would you guys recommend? And where do you get your vitamins and your, supplements from? Because I think that's also a really interesting concept of like, where can I get all this stuff from? So how can you let us know all of these questions, right? You can message us on Instagram or Facebook at The Average Vegans. You can email us at theaveragevegans@gmail.com. You can, of course, listen to this episode and every other episode on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, or anywhere else podcast fix. Please make sure to leave us a review. That is my goal for next year, is to get more reviews on sites. We would love for you to recommend us to your friends, family, coworkers, anyone that you think might be interested in vegans and vegan lifestyle. You can find show notes, links, and more at theaveragevegans.com. Of course, we want to hear your vegan story, your favorite vegan treats, your episode suggestions, and which supplements we didn't talk about today that you think we should all take. So let us know. And that's it for this week.
All right. Well, until next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.